Hey everybody, Radsman Law here, another episode of Learning Your Rights. Today we're looking at what is the Second Amendment. We're still in that series. This is part 3. The Second Amendment reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Today we're looking at the words being necessary for the security of a free state. Now, the founders of this country had just gotten out of a war where a tyrannical, controlling government had tried to suppress the people's rights and their freedoms by confiscating their military arms and people's firearms. With that being said, the founders understood that in order to keep the people free, to secure the state, and the word state is capitalized in that, the word state is capitalized in the Second Amendment. It doesn't refer to the country as a whole necessarily. It refers to the state rights. And we see that the state rights were very much trying to be protected in the Constitution by the Founding Fathers. In Article 1, Section 8, it talks about how the militia is to be organized. Now, the federal government is supposed to fund the state militias. However, the state militias are supposed to be led by state officials and state officers that are appointed. And this was to ensure that the federal government would not just come in and take over. So there's that balance, that checks and balance system that you see even outside of the Second Amendment. But when we're looking at the Second Amendment, you can see that it's being necessary for the security of a free state, that the militia is organized and you have that system in place. But it's necessary because the founders understood that government can become tyrannical. And we have examples of this not only here in America with the Revolutionary War and the War for Independence against Britain, but other governments that had a disarmed populace. It was much easier for them to issue orders and oppress people, one of which would be Hitler. And Hitler's often picked on as having crazy gun control. Hitler actually inherited a country that already had strict gun control laws. After World War I and the treaties that were between the Allies and or the Western civilization and Germany, Germany was not allowed to have their citizens own firearms. They were very much restricted. So for several years before World War II and before Hitler took over, Germany had very stringent gun control or strict gun control laws. That made Hitler's job much easier to come in and then start oppressing certain people. And when Hitler took over, he was able to restrict people that he deemed non-essential or lower class citizens, such as the Jewish culture, the Jewish people, African Americans, any people that the government deemed they didn't like, they wouldn't issue a purchase permit for firearms, and they would restrict those people's firearms. We have that going on here in America. If you're unaware, New York, California, and Illinois have some of the most horrendous gun control laws, and it essentially leaves the government and gives the government the ability to restrict and oppress the people that they deem that they don't like as government officials, and it gives them, they oppress the people. They don't let them have or keep and bear arms. So the founders realized that the government could do this, and they wrote in a reminder clause that it is necessary for the security and the freedom of the state and the people in this country, the people in the states, that if we don't have a militia, if we don't have the right to keep and bear arms, the government can come in and oppress us. And for those of us who think, wow, that would never happen here, you haven't studied world history. If you need a firearm, if you need to take firearms training, or you have questions about firearms, please message us or give us a call, 248-702-5282. We look forward to helping you in your situation get a firearm and defend your family. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.